it's often how guys respond from the point you can't tell. Is Bi like, was he feeling okay to practice? I mean, do you envision him continuing to play in games going forward?
Yeah, he felt great. His response was a normal response from coming back from a toe injury, and hopefully his minutes will go up the next game. That's the expectation. So we look forward to getting back on the floor.
So positive news on that.
Yeah.
On that side.
Positive news.
What do you think about Zion getting that All-Star nod, and the work he did in the 29 games we've seen from him so far?
Well, we're all extremely proud of him, especially when you look at the turnaround from last year to this season. Last season, trying to recover from injuries, and it's a credit to the work that he's put in, a credit to the people around him, and like you said, this season he's been getting after it in the games that he's played. So we're all excited for him and happy for him.
It seemed like he did well in all three of the different categories of voting, like fans, media, and coaches. But it seemed like the player one was the one that got him, like tipped the scale for him. What did you think about him? The respect that the players have for him playing against him.
I think that's huge. His peers, the guys that he's playing against, voting and understanding how difficult it is to play against him and guard him, and the impact that he brings to the team and to the league. And so that's a huge credit on his part.
With Brandon back out there the other night, could you just feel like the quality of looks you're getting being easier?
Yeah, it was. We're going to get better looks. That's what he does when he touches the floor. He generates great looks for us on the three, especially with three-point shots. His ability to get in the paint and see over the defense, and he got CJ a wide open three to start the game. So we're knocking off some dust and we're knocking off a little rust. We're getting Brandon back and Naji, but we'll continue to work at it.
I think he had 5 assists. And it felt like it could have been 8, 10. What do you think about his just ability to move the ball overall?
Fantastic, and that's a part of the game that we relish and welcome back to our team, is having Brandon, eventually having Z, guys that can all pass the ball, they can drive and make plays for themselves, but they make the game easier for the teammates.
How much do you think factored into the vote for Zion, just the fact that, for part of the stretch, you guys were in first place, you're still in fourth. The fact that just the impact that he's made towards you guys winning games.
I think that's extremely helpful when you're, in the race for an All-Star position. And so Z's impact on our winning is tremendous. When he's on the floor, most games we got an opportunity to win it. Having our team being healthy is key for us. And so, like you said, we one of the top teams in the West, and I think that definitely contributed to Z getting votes, but it contributes to who he is as a player. And like I said, when he's on the floor, he has a ton of impact for our team.
I feel like sometimes that's almost like the tiebreaker. Like if guys have similar stats, you might pick a guy whose team is in fourth as opposed to a team that's in 10th or 11th or something like that. Maybe.
I'm not sure. Everybody votes differently. Some people vote based on just on your play. Some people look at your play in a combination of how your team is doing. That seems like that's typical, but I'm not really sure how it goes.
Recently, your rebounding numbers aren't quite as good as they were earlier. What do you attribute that to?
I'm not sure. It's something that we continue to take a look at because I believe it's something we do well. But we've had slippage across the board lately, and that's another category that, we need to just up our level, so to speak.
You said after the game that consistency has been a problem of late, not getting a full 48. How do you address that? I know you emphasize it constantly, but is there anything you can do specifically?
Well, we got to try to help ourselves in those moments, and sometimes it's the second quarter, sometimes it's the first quarter. A few games it's been the fourth quarter, and it's always one quarter. Not always. It's been one quarter lately that's not allowing us to be as consistent as we can be. The thing that we can do is just execute. Come down the floor, get a good shot, execute defensively, and make teams have to make tough shots over us. And when teams score, we get away from that defensively. We press a little bit when we haven't scored. So there's areas where we're turning the ball over, and those are things that we can clean up.
Do you have any idea before that news came down, or?
Nah, I had no idea. I was actually at Currency little store when I found out. My phone was on silent. My stepdad, I checked my phone and my stepdad was calling me. He was like, did you hear the news? I said, nah, what news? Then I said, hold on. I hung the phone up and I saw the notification. I was like, man, that was a moment. That was crazy.
Yeah, and I know when this happened a couple of years ago, we were in COVID times and there was not really a crowd, and I don't know if that was like the most fun experience. Does it add something to it that it's like, okay, like folks are going to be in the building and it's really All-Star Weekend again?
I mean, it's a feeling of, it's an honor. Being named an All-Star and being named a starter this time around, especially after last year, man, this is crazy. This is really a crazy feeling for me. But I want to thank Coach Green, Pelicans organization, my teammates, especially Teaspoon and Brew. Those two really helped me a lot the past few years. So, without that group of people, I wouldn't be in this situation. They all trust me to go out there and be myself.
Has there been a moment during this year when you're like, okay, I feel like I'm all the way back?
I feel like I had a few moments where I was like, I'm not just back, but I feel like I'm better. I'm not going to give those moments, but I feel like I have had a few of them.
You said you had a moment. Was it an emotional moment, or can you describe, like, when you got that news?
It was just a moment of looking back where I was a year ago. I was in Portland this time last year. It was a real rough time for me. So, to be a starter, be named a starter in the All-Star game, it's just crazy what a year difference makes.
How different was it compared to the first one? Because obviously the first one is always super meaningful, but how big was this one compared to that first time?
This one was a little bit more exciting, just in terms of, like I said, just what I went through last year. It was a long journey. So to be in this situation now is it's really a surreal feeling.
You did really well in all three of the categories of voting, the coaches, the fans, but it seemed like the player vote was really the thing that kind of pushed you into being a starter. What did you think about just getting that recognition or that respect from the players?
Man, it's honor. It's an honor. Like, it's just one of those respect things. Because there are a lot of great players that they probably could have chosen. So to have players from other teams kind of give me that respect, I'm grateful for that.
You expect to play in it?
Man, Matt. If I can, absolutely.
How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. Thanks for asking. I'm feeling really great.
Things progressing well so far?
Extremely well. Things are progressing extremely well.
How do you feel like, obviously getting BI back is a huge part of it, but how do you feel like you guys get your swag back on the offensive end and just do what y'all do?
Locking in on the defensive end. Times like this, working on your game, getting your shots up, sticking with your routine. It's a stretch we're going through right now that we're struggling, but for sure we're gonna get back.
I'm sure you saw that Zion was named All-Star starter. It seemed like the player vote was really the thing that got him as a starter. What do you think about just the fact that it seems like that was really what put him at the top?
They know he supposed to be starting that motherfucker. You hear me? They played against him and they understand what's going on. So I'm just proud of my guy, and I'm happy for him. I don't know if he's playing or not, but if he does, hopefully he puts on the show, and that's lit.
Do you feel like the guys that have to guard him pushed him even higher on their list of saying, just being like understanding the task of trying to slow him down is so difficult?
Most definitely. I think everybody, to be honest, because like I said, he's a force out there. The players see what they do when we play against them, so they just know.
Did you have to do that a lot in training camp and practice?
Who? What?
Zeke, guard Zeke.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's probably not a fun job.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Could you tell the other night, just having Bi back out there, just the quality of looks, just having him on the floor, and how much easier that makes life for everybody?
No, definitely a lot of open shots. With him missing and Z, something I have been used to, for the most part as of recently. But a lot of open shots, a lot of attacks it around. Also, a lot of open players on second drives and stuff like that. So, yeah, definitely see some differences with him back, making the game easier, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not going to ask you about your picks, but is it difficult to do the All-Star voting each year? You find it hard to
No,
narrow it down?
my picks was Jose, Bi, me, Zion, and I want to say Murphy. I think I picked Murph. And then for the East, I picked KD, Kyrie, Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, and I forgot who the last person was.
It's a 5 right there.
Mm-hmm.
Willie said after the game that recently the trouble has been small stretches during the game, just haven't been consistent enough. How do you regain that consistency?
Like I said, times like these, just locking back in, doing what we do best, practice, film, things of those nature. And just come with time, Everything not always pretty. You got to go through trials and tribulations to, eventually accomplish that end goal. So that's what we're doing, and we're just looking forward to what's coming up.